Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As the new minister responsible for the Quidlook Energy Corporation has gotten a good workout both today and yesterday, so I thought I would give him a break and ask my questions to the minister responsible for the Department of Justice. Mr. Speaker, as the minister will recall from our service together during the previous Legislative Assembly, an issue that I raised on a number of occasions was the importance of developing and introducing a Clare's Law in Nunavut. Over the course of the past couple of years, I think that we've made some progress towards achieving this goal. I'd like to ask, can the minister inform the House today if and when he intends to introduce legislation to create a Clare's Law for Nunavut? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Minister of Justice, Mr. Samailak.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you to the member for the question. Thank you for thinking of the member, Minister responsible for Quidlook Energy Corporation and giving him a break. The department recently completed a Nunavut-wide consultation on the Family Abuse Intervention Act. Thanks in part, actually, to the member for this important issue, for his continued advocacy. The department included Clare's Law and domestic violence information sharing in its Family Abuse Intervention Act consultations. The next step for the department is to review the many comments and submissions received from the consultation participants and frontline stakeholders. The department's review will look at legislative steps we can take to improve the Family Abuse Intervention Act to ensure it is responsive to victims. Part of this review will be to review the comments shared with respect to domestic violence information sharing. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
First supplementary, Mr. Lightstone.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I'd like to thank the minister for his response, as well as the Department of Justice's efforts on conducting the consultation on the Family Abuse and Intervention Act. I appreciate the minister for bringing that up, as that leads me into my next question. As the minister had indicated, the department had received many comments and on the community consultations on the Family Abuse and Intervention Act. I'm sure many of those would be quite insightful, and I'd like to ask if the minister will confirm if and when he will be tabling his department's reports on the results of these community consultations. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister of Justice, Mr. Samailak.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The department does hope, we do hope to be able to complete the consultation report by the fall. And once the report is completed, I will inform my colleagues of the decisions with respect to the consultation on the Family Abuse and Intervention Act and Clare's Law. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Second and final supplementary, Mr. Lightstone.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'd like to thank the minister again for his response. I look forward to reviewing the results of those consultations in the fall. As the minister will also recall, I tabled a package of documents last September, which included the Information and Privacy Commissioner of Nunavut's formal submission to the Department of Justice concerning this issue. One of the Information and Privacy Commissioner's recommendations was that the department should, and I quote, prepare a policy impact assessment for a Clare's Law as contemplated by Section 42.1 of the Access to Information and Privacy Act, end of quote. I'd like to ask, can the minister update the House today on the status of the Department of Justice to act on this recommendation? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister of Justice, Mr. Samailak.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Should we decide to proceed with Clare's Law as a part of our Family Abuse and Intervention Act amendments. We will be sure to work with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and we will ensure the conduct, the necessary privacy analysis. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.